Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie and I am back today with my weekly WIP and Chat. If you are new, first off, welcome. I'm really glad that you're here and hope you enjoy spending some time with me today. WIP stands for Work in Progress, and chat just means that we are going to chat a little bit today while I'm working on my WIP, which is a diamond painting. I'll tell you a little bit about and have linked whatever accessories and everything that I can below if you want to go and check any of these shops out. But the kit that I am working on is called the Snow Queen, and this is from Diamond Art Club and the artist Mandy Manzano. This kit has been discontinued for 5 years, I think now, and you can only find it in D-stash groups at this point. Alternatively, you could get a cross-stitch chart for this and do a conversion if you wanted to. I believe Creatively Stitching, well, do they still have these? Actually, I might be lying to you right now, even unintentionally. I don't remember if they still have these charts or if that license expired, but I'll check. I'll have it linked below if you're interested in doing a cross-stitch conversion. And if you're like, what is a cross-stitch conversion? It is where you take a cross-stitch chart and you turn it into a diamond painting on a blank canvas. And I have a playlist and a whole set of videos dedicated to that, kind of explaining the process. And I'll have that linked below. I'm going to make a note so that I don't forget, because I have just the most terrible memory and I know that I'll forget if I don't write it down. Okay. Note made. Okay, so that's the kit that I'm working on. It is my 250th diamond painting that I'll be completing, and is also one that I'm working on in honor of my 6th anniversary of diamond painting. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Let me do accessories first. These are all shops that are still open. This pen is from Diamond Pen Pal and has their roll stop feature. So it's got the flat side on the one end. And I like this one because it has all the snowflakes in it. And I got this one back in 2020 or 2021. The only downside to this one is that, like a lot of pens that have clear resin, it has yellowed a little bit over time, even though I've kept it stored in a cool, dark place. I have a number of pens that have some, clear areas like this, and it has just turned a little bit yellow over time, but the pen still works and it is still really pretty, so I'm going to be using it anyway. I don't find that the flat side here bothers me at all when I'm holding it, which is nice. When I first got one, I didn't know if I assumed that it would bother me actually, but when I'm holding it, it just kind of sits pretty comfortably. So anyway, that's from Diamond Pen Pal. This tray is from Unimade. This one, just with the white glitter, made me think of snow, so I wanted to use this one. I don't know if they still have this exact filament, but you can get their large size trays, which I do like to use when I'm multi-placing and have kits with color blocking, kind of like this one does. This is the very first version of their trays. So their more current iterations have things like cuts over here so that there's more space, the drills won't get stuck. The walls are a little bit thicker and sturdier. And they also added in like a little flat ledge over here, like the washi tape hack basically, but 3D printed. That's their current version of their trays. So that's that. I'm going to be using Pure Bliss Wax Company wax in my single placer in the scent Unicorn Pop Tarts, and then putty from Tracy's DP World in my multi-placer. So let me clean out my placers in this pen so that we can get a fresh start. I actually don't remember what putty was in here before, but I'm going to get a fresh start anyway. I feel very lucky I have more putty than I know what to do with. It's really accumulated over the years. So this is a chance to refresh and get some new putty going too. I just use metal tweezers for cleaning out my tips. I have not found that it damages my metal multi-placers or my single tips at all. That's something you were worried about. Okay. Tracy's DP World. Oh, have I never used this one? Oh, that's funny. So this is in the scent Apple. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Oh my gosh, that just, how smells can sometimes take you right back to a particular time. That just threw me back to, I feel like there was a particular apple scent that Bath and Body Works had when I was in high school or something. So 20 years ago, I graduated from high school 20 years ago. That was kind of a crazy, crazy date to see when it was like, 2026. That means, I don't even know if my high school is doing like any kind of reunion. I don't know. Our class president and stuff, not the most organized person, and I don't know if the rest of the class officers or whatever, I don't know. it would require me traveling back to Ohio anyway, and I just don't see that happening. You know what? That putty, I see that. There's a little divot there that's not going to be full enough. Sorry, give me just a moment. I didn't realize till I put that away that it's not totally full. This seems maybe a tiny bit. I almost feel soft, but then it's not sticky. We'll see how it is to work with. It's been a little bit since I've worked with Tracy's DP World putty, but all of my associations with it are that I've had a positive experience, so I'm not too worried about it. I'll leave this out just in case I need to add any extra in there. As far as where I'm at in the artwork, by the way, I'm working on it this way, and we're opening up. I'm doing really, really big sections on this one. I literally just split it in half. So this right here is like, just the line is right here. It's split. And so I'm doing a big section that's basically like this. I just thought it would be fun to try doing really huge sections on this panel style piece. And I'm enjoying it, actually. It's gone really fast. I started working on it yesterday and hypothetically could hit the halfway point today, which is kind of crazy. It's been a pretty chill weekend, so I've been able to do a lot of diamond painting. So I think that's part of the reason why. And the bottom part had a lot of line blocking and stuff. Sorry, I didn't quite finish that area up there. That plastic keeps wanting to pull back. Let me just, okay. There we go. So it's going quickly, and I don't know how much of that is just the sheer amount of time I'm spending on it and how much of it is just the nature of it. It's got a lot of color blocking. I use my multiplacer a lot. But yeah, this section is huge. Are you team large sections or do you like smaller sections? Now, let me talk about this piece. I have a lot of feelings surrounding it. Very fond and nostalgic feelings for the most part. This piece, the reason that I decided to work on it was because it just felt very timely for a couple of different reasons. So like I mentioned, it's my 250th diamond painting. It's going to be my 250th finish. I actually have 2 other WIPs going that technically one of those would have been my 250th start. This is going to be my 250th finish. I'm waiting to finish those others till I finish this one. I get kind of weird ideas and specific ideas in my head sometimes, and you just can't get me to change my mind for love or money. So I had thought, let me mark this milestone with a special kit, which is what I've done for past milestone kits that hit, a multiple of 50 basically. And this happened to also coincide with my very recent 6th anniversary of diamond painting, which was April 1st. And as I was thinking about it, I was looking through the diamond paintings that I have. I had a couple of different possibilities in mind. For one, I had thought this could be a good excuse to work on another one of my princess panels. I have the set of princess panels that came out by Mandy Manzano at Diamond Art Club several years ago, and I intend to work on and complete all of them at some point. I've only completed 2 of the 11 or something, 11 or 12, something like that. I did leave a couple out to the Diamond Art Club release. Like, I don't have the Beast in the mix. I just kind of went with the classic Disney princesses. But I've completed The Daughter of the Sea King, which is Ariel fan art, and I've completed One Worth Melting For, is that right? That's the name of it, right? Which is the Anna fan art panel. So I had thought, I want to work on a princess panel. I would like to work on something for my rainy day stash, something that's special. And then I thought, well, do I want to work on maybe a less favorite princess panel so I'm not using up all my favorites first? But then when I really sat down to think about it, I just wasn't getting excited about the idea of working on, Snow White or Sleeping Beauty or something. There's nothing wrong with those princesses, but they're just not personal favorites of mine. So then I kept circling back to it's aligning with my 6-year diamond painting anniversary, with my actual diamond painting anniversary. And the Anna Princess panel was the very first Diamond Art Club kit that I worked on in my 3rd diamond painting ever. So how appropriate is it? How timely does it feel to work on her sister? This is about the same time almost that I was working on that Anna kit. I remember that the Anna kit took me a month to do. I single placed the whole thing. I finished it on my oldest son Connor's birthday, And I was just in love with the Diamond Art Club quality compared to the first two kits I had done, which were just this really cheap Amazon quality where the render was just a blurry hot mess. And so I hadn't started, I don't think, like my Instagram account or anything at that point, and I certainly hadn't started my YouTube channel, but I just have lots of fond associations with that very specific kit. And so when it came down to it, I just kind of kept coming back to this particular princess panel and thought, you know what, this is the one I want to do, so let's just do it. And it's so fun because I keep thinking back to working on the Anna panel and how I would single place it and how long it took, and just thinking this is going so much faster, but it's such a similar experience in a lot of ways, in good ways. It's a little bit smaller than the Anna panel. It's the same width, but this is the one panel in the Princess series that is actually a little bit shorter. And I don't know if it's something to do with the artwork itself, like they maybe didn't want to cut off too much of her dress, but this one is only 97 centimeters tall, whereas the other princess panels I think are like 127 centimeters tall. So there is that difference, and so it's not a perfect comparison to the other panels as far as why it's going faster, but that just kind of is what it is. I did fix the focus. Hold on, I need tweezers, otherwise I'm just gonna get wax all over these because it's still fresh wax. It's fun to work on an older DAC kit. Funnily enough, let me show you. You know how sometimes you'll see people mention in diamond painting groups or like the Diamond Art Club VIP group, and they'll put a picture up of two symbols and go like, why DAC? These are so similar. And then you look at them and it's like, I don't know, it'll be something like this, where it's like, well, I don't really feel like those two symbols are actually that similar. But I empathize with you if you're struggling, right? This kit, though, has these two symbols, which, here, let me take off the autofocus here. Fix the focus, rather. These are the two symbols in this kit. We have two triangles that are both like the same exact shape on a blue background, and these are easy to mix up. I think these are actually easy to mix up in a lot of ways. So what I'm doing, the background is a slightly different color, like the one is slightly darker, and that helps. But I'm also, when I get to those symbols on the canvas, I'm taking the container and I'm setting it next to where I'm working, oriented the same direction, so that I can double check, like, okay, yes, this triangle is facing like this way, so I know it's correct. But that's, they've really moved away from having symbols that are actually really similar, like those, which I really appreciate. They've moved away from having these really distinct guide circles, like you can really tell. They moved rather towards just very faint guide circles, which is fine with me. The drill quality is similar with the rounds, I feel like. I don't know, they sometimes feel like maybe a little bit thicker to me. The canvas itself, the backing feels a tiny bit softer to me. I did like a mini unboxing video for this that I'm going to incorporate into the overall post review. So you'll hear my commentary there too if you watch that when it goes up. But I noticed that the back on this canvas it did feel like slightly softer, slightly different to me than the kit I had just unboxed, recorded an unboxing for right before that, which was a new release, like my sneak peek for last week. And so I noticed that difference. And then one thing I was so interested to check on, because I feel like this has been a really common topic of conversation lately, was the glue. I've talked about this in a few different videos, including some of my sneak peeks, which is I know that some people are having issues with feeling like their glue is too thin or too slippery, and you guys are noticing a very distinct difference between previous DAC kits that you've worked on and more recent ones. And I'm not here to invalidate that. I 100% believe you. But when I tell you that I put these kits side by side with each other, and I was like, this one is like, I can still skate my fingers and drills over it. And the stickiness, it felt like maybe a hair stickier than the new release. And it feels very similar to me personally to diamond paint on. And I I'm not making it up. I have no motivation to make it up. I want, it's so weird. I want to get a canvas that has glue issues so that I can work with that and be able to take videos and send feedback and stuff. But when I just am simply not running into that, I don't totally know what to do. So, and even the ones that it's kits that I've bought, and even the ones that they send for sneak peeks, they're just pulling from their standard inventory. So I don't know. I strongly suspect, I've been chatting with some other crafters about it, and some of us suspect that maybe there's a little bit of a tie to humidity and climate, because that one kit, that one sneak peek, the Yume from Ashes that I unboxed while I was visiting my parents in Arizona, and I filmed that video there, and I touched that glue and I was like, this feels thin. Okay, this is it. This is a kit where the glue feels thin. And then I came back to California, very, very different climate, especially in terms of humidity. And it's I'm not, the glue, I'm not having problems with it. So I don't know. So I was really interested to see, especially unboxing these kits back to back. And I thought, well, this one does feel maybe a little bit stickier, but I don't know if it's just in my head because I'm looking for it. So I don't know, you guys. I want to help. I really, really want to help. And I don't know if it's something with my climate or what, but and I've worked on some other new releases like that Me Time kit by Miss Holly, and I'm not really experiencing it. So, but I empathize so much with your frustrations, and I really wish I could help more. I'll keep keeping an eye out and I'll keep trying. But so this, I guess it's really cool though, going just back to talking about this kit in general, that a kit that came out 6 years ago that's just been sitting, it's still in perfect condition. It's not like the glue dried out at all over time, or, obviously there's not going to be a problem with the canvas or the drills. I feel like the glue's the only thing you really worry about. Don't mind my dog. He's very excited that my husband's home from filming all weekend. So he's throwing his toy around over there. Anyway, so that's kind of my thoughts on working on this kit so far. I need some water. My throat is feeling so dry we've had a lot of weather changes here, and I feel like my allergies are just all over the place. So yes, this kit, bringing me a lot of joy to work on. It's making me very, very happy, and is very in line with this whole kind of surprise theme this year of working on large kits. I'm having the time of my life, and the way that I am so tempted to kit up all the things. Did any of you guys read the webcomic Hyperbole and a Half? That's where that whole all the things came from. I love it. I hope she's doing well. I know she was struggling with her mental health and I think her physical health at one point. And I haven't seen really anything from her in a long time. Man, that was such a moment in time. I loved that webcomic. Adam and I still reference it all the time to this day, especially the Owlet. Owlet of things. Owlet of this. Go look up Hyperbole and a Half if you just want a little time capsule of what would that have been? The 2010s, early 2010s maybe. Anyway, so easily sidetracked today, you guys. I want to kit up all the things, and I don't know who that girl is either, because I just have always been a mono whipper. That's my happy place. But now I have technically 3 whips going, even though I'm not actively rotating through all 3. I'm probably going to work on this one exclusively till it's done. But I'm going, I kind of want to kit up this big old Diamond Art Club Joe Wall kit. Titanian Oberon has been calling my name. And there's other kits from other companies that I'm maybe I could tackle a really big kit like this. I don't know who I am, but it's fun. It's also entertaining to see and interesting to see just how much your tastes and styles and approaches can change over the years, even when you're not expecting them. And, embrace the change, roll with whatever is making you happy, and it's really okay. So it's fun. We'll see if I end up actually following through on wanting to kit up a bunch of stuff and just having a bunch of whips going, or if, a lot of it's laziness. I think I said this last week. When it comes down to it, it's laziness, and as in, I could spend some time kitting up a kit, or I could actually just immediately start diamond painting with a thing that's already kitted up. So it's part laziness and part storage and space, like actual drill storage and stuff. So we'll see. You'll know. We'll see what I'm working on in next week's WIP and Chat. So there's that. And I'm also running into a little bit of a storage dilemma with my completed kits. I was going to sit down and start packing up and labeling my 2025 finishes in the way that I kind of have my long-term completed canvas storage, which is in these under the bed totes. They're really long, so I can fit canvases up to like 70 centimeters the one way, I think it was. And I can fit a lot of canvases in there. And I roll up like 6 or 7 canvases and put them in a plastic sleeve and put a label on the plastic sleeve with like the dates of the canvases in there and the names of the kits so that I can find them easily if I'm looking for a particular kit. And I have found this to be more space effective for me than storing in flattened portfolios. This just seems to work a little bit better for me organizationally and space-wise, but I am still starting to run out of space even for these underbed totes. I'm about to fill up my 4th one, and this doesn't even have all of them. There's a year or two's worth of diamond paintings that I never transferred over to this that are still flat in portfolios. And I would like to get around to shifting into this storage, but I don't have a lot of space. I'm trying to figure out if I can like get them up in the rafters of my garage or something. And I'm just a little bit at a loss for what to do. There are some of you that I know, I don't think it's very many of you, but I know there are some of you I have seen say that you literally, once you complete a kit, you just throw it away because you're a process crafter. It's not like you were going to display it and you don't want to save and store it. You don't see any reason to keep it, so you just toss it, which you do whatever you want to do, okay? No judgment from me. But I cannot bring myself to do that. But 200, this is number 250. That's a lot of completed diamond paintings to store, and I don't see myself stopping with this craft anytime soon. So I'm a little bit trying to figure out, okay, let's be practical here, and what can I do differently? And I don't know. I guess I'm open to suggestions. I know I could because here's the thing. I know I could donate them. I could give them away, that kind of thing. I'm not even opposed to that necessarily, but there's something that I just love about having them. That kind of, I don't know if necessarily specifically a sense of accomplishment, but it's this thing that I worked on and that I feel happy about or proud of or any number of things. And I don't know, there's something about still currently having my hands on all the diamond paintings I've ever done and having a hard time with the idea of not. I know that that's probably flirting really closely with the hoarder mentality, and that's definitely not what I want to do. But I'm just torn. So I think I either need to get more creative with how and where I'm storing things, or I just need to get over it and just get rid of some of them. Rip off the Band-Aid, get rid of some of them, and not worry about trying to store all these diamond paintings. So I don't know, you guys. How do you handle it? Especially if you have a lot of completed kits. How are you approaching it? What's working for you? Because I would love to pick your brains about it. But yeah, I gotta figure this out sooner rather than later because I'm running out of space to even have I'm running out of space in general. So that's my storage problem. I also, as I've been so tempted to kit up really just a lot of Diamond Art Club kits because that's what artwork is calling my name, I'm also trying to intentionally shift towards looking at smaller shops and shops I haven't actually worked on kits from, whether at all or just recently. And I want to get back to showcasing more small shops and more new to me shops here on my channel. Budgetary constraints for me right now have meant that I haven't been able to do a lot of buying from small shops, which I actually hate that I haven't been able to realistically do. And I also I'm pretty sure I've talked about this here. I have a difficult time with being the one to reach out to the shop and ask if they want to collaborate. there's, I know that that's not exactly what this is, but there's a big part of me that just can't get past it feeling like I'm reaching out and be like, send me something for free. Like, it just feels yucky to me. And I'm not saying that anyone that does that is yucky at all. It's just it feels uncomfortable to me. And so I've virtually never reached out to a shop, like initiated contact myself to be like, hi, you want to collab? It just feels funny. I've had shops reach out to me, which I'm so flattered and so delighted, and feel very, very, very lucky. But yeah, I recognize that I have not had the budget to do the shopping that I would like to be able to do. And yeah, so that's why you haven't seen quite as much. But I'm hoping to be able to change that a little bit and still find some ways to, I don't know, just figure this out a little bit. So in case you were curious about that, just know that it's very much on my mind as well. And I want to be showing other shops and working on kits from other shops. And hopefully we'll be able to do more with that here soon. I've been thinking on it a lot, and it's really been on my mind. And yeah, especially with things, the economy and everything the way that it is, it's like I want to be able to support small business owners and whatnot. Okay, I think that this is the last of the black outlining. I'm having a lot of fun with this kit, doing all of the black outlining first and then filling in the colors after. It's very satisfying. It feels very color book-y to do it this way. Yeah, it's really satisfying to see it come together. Okay, what color should we grab next? Let's do, where's the number 2? All right. So I realized just now, I forgot to ask you right at the beginning, how are you guys doing? I'm just the rudest host, I'm sorry. How are you doing? How was your week? What have you been up to? How was your weekend, rather? Were any of you folks on spring break like we were? Because spring break is at an end. My kids are both very, very, very sad about it. We had a really nice spring break together, and I'm a little sad it's coming to an end too, but we are a household that thrives on structure, and school can give us a really nice structure. And my kids, especially my youngest, really does actually love going to school once he's there and everything. So, oops, sorry, I keep hitting the camera lens. I didn't realize it's close to my forehead as it actually is. So yeah, they're going back to school tomorrow, and I'm going to be working on getting back to my to-do list. Got some emails to respond to, got some just stuff I want to try to get taken care of and checked off the list. And that's something that executive dysfunction piece has always been a little bit of a struggle, and I'm always looking to find like better strategies and ways to handle that. And it's the procrastination piece. I run into it in so many ways and complain to you guys about it in a lot of ways too. Just, procrastinating, deciding what kit I'm going to work on or how I'm going to do this thing or that thing. And sometimes that really comes back to bite me a little bit. There was something specific I was going to say, and I just completely lost my train of thought related to that. But yeah, I don't like being a procrastinator. I feel like a lot of times, especially the past couple of years with stuff that we've just had going on the personal life side of things, with my husband's job situation and stuff, it feels like I've kind of been perpetually in survival mode and kind of just having this mentality of, okay, we just need to get through until X, X date or X thing happens. And the problem with living in survival mode is that I don't want to just survive. I would like to just be able to still relax and enjoy life and not just watch it pass me by. And that's something that can be a difficult thing to find a balance on. I had a whole idea of where I was going to go with this, and I'm so sorry. I'm feeling very scatterbrained, I guess, this evening in a way I wasn't expecting. if I remember where I was going to go with that, I'll revisit this. But I have this little jot list of notes that I take when I'm sitting down to record a video because I tend to not otherwise remember what all I wanted to talk about or things that went on. At one point, I had actually talked to my doctor about how poor I feel like my memory is and asked, is this something to be concerned about? And she asked, a number of questions. She's not one to blow me off and was just very gently like, this sounds pretty normal. It sounds like you've got 2 young kids with a lot of needs and you've got a lot going on in your life right now. And this doesn't sound like something that there's, a big cause for concern, but here's some red flags to keep an eye out for. Again, because she doesn't want to just blow me off. And I was that was fine. I wasn't trying to be a problem child or a special snowflake. I just was like, this seems, I don't know, it seems maybe unusual, so I'm gonna just ask while I'm here, kind of thing. But yeah, if I don't write things down, I don't always know what to chat about. And so yeah, I have that little note about just struggling with some procrastination type things and how that comes with being in kind of a survival mode. And I don't know, I think it affects how I come off sometimes in my videos. And I'll procrastinate with like, what videos do I want to do and how do I want this to look and everything. And part of this goes along with just this overall feeling of identity that I have with regards to my channel. Not to like fourth wall break too hard here, but there's so often that I feel a little bit like, a lot of imposter syndrome. I know it's like a big old buzzword that can get a little annoying, but just feeling like, I don't know, like I'm not a YouTuber or something like that, and I'm just a crafter that turns on the camera and sits down and records videos talking about my craft. But I don't know, I'm realizing in some ways how others don't necessarily see me that way or see me as just like that's super cheesy to put it that way. Like, don't see me as just a regular human being kind of thing. And that's fine. Like, that is what it is. People can say or think, whatever they would like. And yeah, that's totally fine. But, yeah, I guess I was just going with procrastinating and stuff, making it feel like I just am sometimes cobbling together my videos in a way that I don't plan things out super, super well. And sometimes I don't think I come off super clearly or communicate the things that I want to communicate. But, oh well, I am doing my best and trying to just put together helpful and fun videos. That's really all I'm trying to do here. I think this has also been fresh on my brain because I don't know about you guys. I watch a lot of like video essays, video commentary style channels. One of the really big ones is Kiki Chanel. I really, really enjoy her videos, and she has a lot of the same kinds of videos in terms of it's usually like blowing up influencer culture and talking about various like specific happenings going on. So I'm looking for a color. There it is. And she just did one. There was a video that went up earlier yesterday. It was talking about Coachella and how just the crazy things that influencers are doing. I think this is what made me also think of like, ooh, I feel kind of weird about the idea of reaching out to shops, because the big thing for influencers, I guess, to do, especially on the TikTok side of things right now, is basically like creating videos begging for brands to partner with them and send them to Coachella. It's really, really yucky. And I don't know, I appreciate Kiki Chanel's refreshing takes on things like overconsumption core and influencer culture in general. I'm always like, I really don't want to be one of those people that acts that way. And anyway, she's had some really interesting videos out. There's others that do topics like this. I just saw that, is it book lover Laura? She just hit like 30,000 subscribers. I've been following her since she had, I think, under 5,000, and there's absolutely a reason she's growing as fast as she is. She does really interesting commentary on like book space and influencer shenanigans and like book talk and booktube as well. And Yeah, that's just been what's the algorithm's been feeding me a lot of lately. So I guess it's top of mind, I guess you could say. Let's go with these. All right. So anyway, spring break. Let's talk about what we got up to this week. So it was a pretty fun week, you guys. It was a good one. Like I said, kind of sad it's coming to an end, but had the kids home for the week. And by far my favorite thing that we did was on Friday. Now, because of aforementioned budgetary reasons, we weren't going to do any kind of vacation sort of thing. But Adam's parents had invited us. They had this really sweet idea. They said we could get some train tickets for you guys if you wanted to come down, and we could just do a short train ride down the coast. So they live down a little bit south of us. We're in Orange County, and they're a bit south of us, and along the coast, and had said that they had taken this train just like 20 minutes to a different beach city a little ways down, and the train stopped like pretty close to the beach itself. There's some cute spots to eat lunch. There's a playground, and so they, got us the train tickets, and we went down on Friday, met up at their house, then went over to the train station. And my kids are really, really into trains. So we knew that we hoped this would be a really fun kind of trip for them then. My oldest, Connor, in particular, loves railroad crossings themselves. And when I was telling him a few days before what we were going to be doing and asking, if that sounded good to him, he said, yeah, that sounds great. Are we going to get to, he calls it tour any railroad crossings? And what that means to him is just being able to get up close enough to the railroad crossings to be able to see like what the bell and the signal are. Like, he is one of those kids that like this is his special interest, and that means that he knows manufacturing dates and companies and can tell just by looking like, oh, this is a rare one, it was only made in this period of time. And he's always going on YouTube and looking at different railroad crossings, and who knew there's actually a lot of content on YouTube surrounding railroads and railroad crossings in particular. He loves it. Best use of YouTube ever. So he was excited for that specifically, and we're like, yeah, but we're gonna get to definitely see some railroad crossings along the way. And Micah, he loves trains in general. So it was so much fun, you guys. Getting to the train station, even just walking up to the train, they were all about it. They were super into it. And we got to go up to the top level of the train. And sorry, I'm looking for a color again. I didn't organize these super well, and there's only 30 something colors. Okay, why is it so hard? I'm using the Diamond Art Club storage, just because a lot of my other storage is taken up right now, and this kit doesn't have very many colors, so it actually is the perfect size storage for it. Anyway, so we got to go up to the top level of the train and could see out, and it was a beautiful train ride down to Solana Beach, and we went to a pizza place there, actually really, really good pizza. And there was a gelato place nearby. We didn't actually end up getting gelato. Maybe next time. But then we ended up actually spending a fair amount of time on the beach itself, which I was not expecting us to do because it was supposed to be pretty chilly for California. So context is California chilly is not the same as everywhere else chilly. It's contextually, it's under 70 degrees. It often can feel cool in California, especially if you are on the beach and getting the ocean breeze. So it was supposed to be a high of 67 or 68 degrees. And so I was genuinely concerned that with the breeze coming off the ocean, I thought that we might be cold. So I had suggested that we dress in long pants. So we all dressed in long pants. I brought jackets for the kids. I'm sure you can guess where this is going. It was not that cold. In fact, we got sun and we're sweaty. And Connor is not a beach water kid, sand kid, which same, honestly. And Micah is. So as it turned out, we went to the playground after we'd gotten lunch. We walked to the playground, which was right off the beach as well. And Micah played for a little bit there. So did Connor. And then Micah wanted to go down to see the ocean. Sure, why not? Just rolled up his pant legs, let him, take his shoes and socks off. And He was having the best time. He was running into the waves. He was calling them tsunami waves. It was very cute. And at one point, he was having a big old time. And at one point, he comes running back up to me, which he had been kind of running back and forth. Like he'd run out to the ocean, kind of play in the waves a little bit. Not swimming, just, getting up to his knees, ankles. He would run back up, check in, get all excited and tell us about it, and then run back out. At one point, he runs back up and he holds out his hand. He goes, "Mom, I lost a tooth." I look down. Sure enough, he lost a tooth. He's got like a little bit of blood around his mouth and reaches out and he's holding out this tooth. I was like, oh, yeah, you lost a tooth, buddy. All right, awesome. We'll make sure we tell the tooth fairy. Props to him for not dropping it in the ocean. It was so funny because it was so out of nowhere. We weren't expecting that at all because he would just come up, give us a hug, say, "I'm gonna run in the typhoon wave," or whatever it was, and then run back out. And this time, he just handed me a tooth, so cleaned him up a little bit, and he wanted to run right back out to the ocean. So none the worse for the wear. Not thrown off or upset at all. It's like 2 weeks ago when I was brushing his teeth, he had commented, and we'd noticed that one of his top teeth, not one of the middle ones, one of the ones next to it, was a little bit wiggly. And then I hadn't noticed, and he hadn't commented on it in a couple of weeks, and then just, I don't know. He says he pulled it out. I believe him. I don't have any reason not to, but it was very out of the blue. So I lost a tooth at the ocean. And yeah, we were in the sun a lot more than I expected. I'm dealing with a lot of mom guilt over the fact that I did not bring sunscreen. Like, how could I? Hello, I live in Southern California and have for 15, but like, how did I forget sunscreen? I won't forget next time. I know that it happens, but like, I'm kicking myself because it's so important to wear sunscreen. Hello. But we don't spend normally like this much time outside, let alone at the beach. And I wasn't expecting this to be a on the beach day. I was like, we're going to a beach city and we're going to play like in an area near the beach, but I was not thinking we're going to be on the sand, like in the ocean or near the ocean. But next time I'll pack it just in case. And it was very warm. We got we were sweating up a storm walking back. But it was just such a wonderful day. I was feeling so good about our day on Friday, and feeling so incredibly thankful that we were able to do this little day trip to make spring break feel like we'd gotten to do something a little bit special. And it felt, it wasn't just a little bit special, it felt very special. And just very, very grateful that Adam's parents, we got to do this with them, and that they had the idea. It was such a wonderful idea and such a thoughtful idea. And the boys had a wonderful time. Immediately asked, when are we going to get to go do that again? So maybe during the summer, because I guess Adam's parents were saying the trains often just run during the week. They don't always run on the weekends, especially in like the off season. Maybe once summer really hits, maybe they'll be running more because there'll be tourists and stuff. I'm not totally sure, but the kids will, have summer break and have time, and we'll be able to take them down again. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So that was the highlight of our spring break easily. We also did get to go swimming. It finally got warm enough here, and we had kind of the right timing and everything to get to use our neighborhood's pool. It opened on April 1st, so even though we had that really weird heat wave in March, we couldn't use the pool. It wasn't open because it's never that hot in March. We're just dealing with this ridiculously unseasonably warm weather this past month. But we got to go a couple of times over spring break, and the kids were very, very happy to get to be in the water again. I foresee lots of pool days in our future as we're getting into the summer months. I cannot believe that it's going to be summer break in just a couple of months. So wild. And then we also got to spend a little bit of time with Adam's sister and her kids. We did a belated Easter and triple birthday celebration all at once together during spring break. there are three people with birthdays among our families, all within like 3 weeks of each other. And so we just thought, let's celebrate everyone's birthdays at once. And we'll also do, an Easter egg hunt and call it our Easter celebration. And we'll do it all together all at once. So they came up to us, and we'd had enough rain that our backyard had plenty of greenery so that Easter Bunny could come and hide eggs for an egg hunt in our little back patio yard area. The kids loved that. And then we had cupcakes and cake and presents and just had a fun little birthday Easter celebration all around. So I'm going to call spring break a success this year, you guys. It was a good one. And yeah, the kids Connor especially is pretty bummed to be heading back to school tomorrow, but hopefully once he gets back in the swing of things, it feels, I don't know, a little more normal and good to be back to it. But I don't know. I feel like it's probably around his age. He's in 5th grade. It's like around his age that I remember that's when I really started to just treasure and covet my spring breaks and summer breaks, and like school like did get less fun, honestly. But I don't know. He's growing up. So yeah, that's spring break and school and all that good stuff. What else? Connor has also been enjoying playing. This is like the classic, right? The license plate game. He's been doing this all the time, but he was very excited when we were driving down to Anna's parents' house and riding the train because we were getting to see a lot of cars. Doing the license plate game, wanting to see how many different states we were seeing license plates from. And he was extra excited because we saw a car with Alaska plates. That was like, he hit the jackpot. I thought that was really cute that he's been into doing the license plate game. I'm like, this was a staple of road trips going up before you had, electronics and other stuff to keep you busy and occupied. Though actually my kids don't tend to be on their electronics when they're in the car. They just like to watch the cars go by and look at the streets and stuff, and street signs and all that. Oh, I'm losing my hair tie. Let's see what else. Oh, we ended up dog sitting our friend's dog at the last minute, which was always a little bit of an adventure. They have this cute little, I don't know exactly what kind of dog he is. I think he's a mix of like a Maltese and a Shih Tzu or something like that. Cute little, it's a lap dog is what he is. Very sweet. His name is Watson. He and our dog Scout get along super well. They're like little best buddies, and we basically always exchange dog sitting with our friends. So when Rachel had texted early in the week, she's like, I know this is really last minute. I think we're going to try to do a little getaway for a couple of nights in San Diego. Any chance you could watch Watson? I was like, sure. Drop him off. Of course, she dropped him off like 5 minutes before Adam's, sister and her kids showed up. So it was like was that Thursday, Wednesday? It was such a delightfully chaotic day. I say mostly, not sarcastically, it was chaotic, but it actually ended up going really smoothly. I was nervous it was going to be kind of stressful, but it actually ended up going okay. And he and Scout just had a big old time, though I did give Rachel a little bit of a hard time. I'm like, Watson has taught Scout some bad habits. She's like, I know, I'm so sorry. The last time that they dog sat Scout, which was like a month ago when we went to Phoenix, I guess Scout really picked up barking a lot from Watson. And as soon as like they dropped Watson off, I swear Watson hadn't been here for an hour before like he was getting Scout all riled up and they were barking at, anyone making too much noise outside. And I was like, we're not going to be those people. We're not going to be those people with the barking dogs all the time. And managed to mostly get it under control. But I was like, I don't know. I don't want to be those people. Also, it's like we got too much going on here to have dogs that are adding to the sensory chaos of it all if we can help it. But no, it was fun. It was fun. Scout was happy to hang out with his buddy for a couple of days. The kids, Watson's just so chill aside from the barking. The kids loved getting to a little bit of extra dog time. And that was our spring break. So let's see. As far as what I've been reading and watching and listening to and what I've been up to on kind of the other hobbies front, well, this isn't part of the reading, watching, listening to, but I have been playing a little bit more of this open world kind of part of Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, which I don't want this game to end, and that's why I'm trying to draw it out as long as possible. I probably mentioned this last week. Sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I did finally decide to go ahead and look up a spoiler-free guide for like what kind of order of areas does it make sense to do things in Act 3, because it is just so very open world and it doesn't give you a lot of guidance. It's just like, well, you can go do the final battle when you're ready. And I'm like, but there's a million other places to explore and I just have no idea where to start. And I just would like go into places and go, I have no idea if I'm going to be super under-leveled or over-leveled or not for this area. And the only way I can find out is by going into it. So that was making me not really want to play the game. So that's when I decided to look up a spoiler-free guide. I wasn't ready to finish it either. So anyway, looking up a little guide for it has made it much less frustrating. But now I'm just going, I don't want to finish the game, but I also really want to know what happens. I'm curious if there's like yet another twist, because there have been some huge twists in this game. And I'm just like, are they going to end it with another huge twist? I just love a story-based game so much, and the story in this and just the overall like the artistic vibes of it. It's been so enjoyable to play. I really enjoyed it a lot. And I don't know what I'm going to play next. I will take recommendations because frankly, you guys were some of the ones that really got me to try Clair Obscur. So if you have other suggestions, I would be so grateful. My favorite games and franchises, I really love Mass Effect, that series, Horizon Zero Dawn, Kingdom Hearts. Like, really, story and characters are what I tend to care about the most. I'm not really like a first-person shooter kind of gamer. JRPGs or not is fine. Is there like a Final Fantasy game I should try to pick back up? I've played a handful of different Final Fantasy games over the years, but they just haven't been calling my name as often recently. I haven't ever gotten to Baldur's Gate 3, but I've heard so much about it. I just don't know how steep the learning curve would be for that one. But that's one of those that I've just heard so many people talk about that I feel like I should maybe give it a try. But I've also enjoyed like a lot of the Assassin's Creed games, though I haven't really played any of the more recent ones. And I'm sure there's other franchises I'm forgetting, but those are, I think, some of the top ones. So any gamers, if you have other suggestions for things that are along those lines, that would be, I'd really appreciate it. So as far as what I've been actually reading and watching and listening to, so I finally really got into Words of Radiance, which is a book by Brandon Sanderson. It is the second in the Stormlight Archive series. And it did take me a little bit to feel like I was really getting into it. And I feel like it was about the end of part 1 that I sort of felt more of the momentum and like I was really kind of getting back into it with the same, like I was feeling the same kind of momentum that I was with Way of Kings. But there's a whole lot more to go. At my current listening speed, Audible tells me that I have 19 hours and 30 minutes left. So I'll be working on this one for a while yet, unless I just am listening nonstop while I and diamond painting a lot here in the next week. I got a lot of stuff to do. I don't know that that'll be happening, but who knows? Maybe I'll eat my words by next week's WIP and Chat. But I'm really enjoying that book a lot, and I'm glad that I still have a lot of Brandon Sanderson books ahead of me too. What's been interesting about this one is that it seems to be slightly more focused on a different character than the first one was. And I think Kate had told me, my friend Kate, who really got me into the series to begin with, had told me that each of these Stormlight Archive books kind of focus on different characters. And so the first one really focused on Kaladin, and the second one is more about Shallan's. And how that tends to manifest, it seems like, is we get a lot more flashbacks and backstory for whatever character it's focused on. And so we got a lot of Kaladin flashbacks and story. and reveals in the first book. And then this one, I just finished the part that has like the first Shalon flashback. And like we've gotten glimpses of, we know parts of what her story is, but like there's so many unanswered questions about it that I'm really intrigued to see like what we get to find out over the course of the book. So what I've been watching, I kind of put down my TV shows after I finished The Untamed, which we talked about in last week's WIP and Chat. And what I have waiting for me, though, is I would like to get back to Arcane. I had started Arcane and The Untamed at about the same time, and then kind of put Arcane on hold to just focus on watching The Untamed. And now I'm ready to get back to Arcane. So I'm like, I stopped partway through the third episode, so I'm probably going to pick it back up, restart the beginning of the third episode, and see if I can get back into it that way. I don't have any other shows immediately on the docket, but I really appreciate, there's some of you guys that actually gave me some suggestions and thoughts when I had talked about The Untamed last week and my overall feelings on it. And I really appreciate the suggestions that you gave, and I'm going to add those to my list to look into. There were some C-drama and K-drama recommendations, and I'll take a peek and see if I have any of the streaming services those are on, or if they look like shows that I might enjoy. So thank you. I really appreciate that you took the time to share your thoughts and give those suggestions. So it was very sweet of you. Listening to... nothing super exciting. I put on the radio, like just the straight up traditional radio for the first time on our trip down to Adam's parents' house this week. And I was like, I mostly will just listen to the music I have already on my phone. But I was like, let's just put on the radio and see what's on. And it's been so long since I've listened to the radio that I was so surprised to hear Golden on the radio. And I looked at Adam, I was like, they put this on just like regular mainstream pop radio? And he's like, yeah, of course they did. And I was like, well, I didn't know. He's like, Katie, you knew that it like charted on the Billboard Top 100. I was like, yeah, I knew that, but I didn't know if that could be based on streaming numbers and stuff. I didn't know that it needed radio play for that. Maybe that's my ignorance showing. I don't know. I was like, I knew that it charted and stuff, but it's so weird to me a little bit hearing it on regular pop radio. And then next up is, Justin Bieber or something. I don't know. But it made me really happy. I was like, oh, okay, listen to Golden on the radio on the way down. Yeah, but otherwise nothing super exciting on the listening end of things. Now, as far as what I have in mind for videos this week, that is such a good question. I don't really know, actually. This is where the procrastination comes in. I just haven't really sat down and thought a lot about what I want to do for videos this week. So, depending on how quickly I finish this kit, I may have a video ready to go up sometime this week where I talk about the unboxing and reviewing this one and kind of just the process of working on my 250th diamond painting and some thoughts on that particular milestone. I have a couple other unboxings I could potentially do. I've thought about... I have a backlog of various kits that I've picked up over the past year. Like, I just have a handful of kits that never actually got unboxed on my channel from Diamond Art Club that I might do like a little bit of a haul for. I don't know. And I have a couple other things that I just haven't, like some store finds that I've picked up over the past several months, like some stuff from Five Below and Marshalls and everything that I might do like a video on that. So, there will be diamond painting videos. I could tell you that. I don't know exactly what those videos are going to be. I need to sit down and get my life together is what needs to happen. But it'll be hopefully more of the stuff that you guys like to see. And I do have a couple video ideas kind of percolating that I want to see if I can pull together as well. But I think I'm going to wrap it up here for this week's WIP and Chat, you guys. If you made it all the way to the end, how about a snowflake emoji in honor of our snow queen? We made a decent amount of progress on this one, given how big this section is. I think it's 16 centimeters this way and like 20 this. Yeah, because 42 divided by 2, 21 centimeters this way. It's like a little mini diamond painting all in itself. But it's moving along. So... Yeah, snowflake emoji. Let me know what you were working on while we were chatting today, and just how have you been? How have you been? I really appreciate that you're here and your support. If you're not already subscribed and would like to see more diamond painting videos from me, I would love to have you here, especially if you made it all the way to the end of this video. You might like at least my weekly WIP and Chats, which I do have a WIP and Chat playlist you can check out below if you just want to put it on for some company in the background while you're crafting or being productive around the house, whatever works. That's often what I like to do with WIP and Chats and vlogs and that kind of thing. And yeah, so I'll try to have that linked for you below too. But you guys, you're the best. I appreciate how kind and supportive and wonderful and delightful you all are. And I say that in all earnestness and without the fake influencer shenanigans and verbiage that Kiki Chanel likes to warn us all about. So no, I really do appreciate you guys a lot, and glad that you spent some time with me today. So yeah, I'm gonna let you go for real this time. I hope you are doing very, very, very well and doing just as wonderfully as you are. Okay, go take care of yourself today. Happy crafting. I will chat with you in the next one. Bye, guys.